Hey everybody, welcome back to Appa's Kitchen. I'm still on the road, so I'm here in Bari, the capital of Puglia. It's a beautiful, warm fall day. It's Sunday, so Bari is pretty dead on Sundays. I was going to go out for a walk. I was really trying to decide what I wanted to do today. Did I want to go, maybe travel down the coast or just walk around Bari? But I'm hungry and I don't really feel like going out and searching for a place to eat and taking a chance, because to be honest, the food that I have been finding outside, number one, it's been too salty, and I've just had a few dishes that were not really that good. So there's nothing like my own cooking. My problem here is in this kitchen, I'm a little bit limited in terms of cookware. I only have a few pots and one pan. And you know, it gets messy and the stovetop is small, so I'm kind of limited with what I can make. But today's dish is just going to be another example of something that's easy to make on the road if you can find the ingredients. So I have some cherry tomatoes that I got at the market nearby. I found some sausage at my supermarket. I got some pappardelle, some fresh pappardelle in the refrigerated section of the supermarket, and I have some mushrooms, some garlic and basil, and all of that is going to come together to make a delicious meal for me on Sunday. And then I'll go out and take a walk later in the afternoon and walk it all off. All right, so I'm going to show you what I do with the tomatoes and how I put the sauce together and show you what lunch looks like. All right, let's get cooking. Here are the ingredients that I'm working with today. So I have some pork, sausage. It has fennel seeds, white wine, aroma, natural aroma. All right, so that's good. I used some of it yesterday. You can see the skin from what I made yesterday. I did a trial run with some penne yesterday. Some mushrooms. This is the fresh pappardelle. These are the cherry tomatoes that I got at the market. So yeah, they didn't have that much flavor when I put them in a salad, but they made a good sauce. I have some garlic, basil, and of course, olive oil. That's it. So first thing we're going to do is boil the tomatoes and remove the skins, but I am going to keep the seeds and the rest of the tomato. Just take the skins off. And then I'll start with the sausage and put my sauce together. All right, so I covered my tomatoes with some water, and that's on the heat now. I'm going to bring that up to a boil, let it boil for just a few minutes, and then I'll remove the skins. And then for my sausage, I'm just removing the casing and pinching off pieces of the sausage. And I'm going to let this fry on a medium-low heat, just brown it. I'm not in a hurry, so just going to let this take its time browning. My heat settings here, this is an induction stove in this Airbnb. It's really nice. So my heat settings go from 0 off to 9 is the high heat. So right now the sausage pot is on a 4. I might bump it up to a 5. Let's get it going and then turn it down. All right, let's let that cook. I'm going to turn this up. Okay, next I'll slice some garlic, and other than peeling the tomatoes, I really don't have anything else that I need to do before cooking the sauce. If you don't have fresh tomatoes, or if you don't want to use fresh tomatoes, You can use a passata. I also found a can of small cherry tomatoes, canned cherry tomatoes. Those will work just as well. So whatever you want to use. There's no hard and fast rule here. This is just, using what's available and showing you that you can make a delicious meal with limited ingredients and also limited resources in your kitchen. If you're staying in an Airbnb, you're traveling, and you don't have a lot of pots and pans, this is an easy lunch or dinner that you can make. Now, I also passed a few fresh pasta shops here in Bari. I didn't buy any pasta, but that's another possibility. I'm sure that this fresh pappardelle from the supermarket is just fine. I mean, after all, we're in Italy. But, you could also try some fresh pasta from a little pasta shop if you find one. All right, I just want to check on the sausage. I can see that the tomatoes are starting to come up to a boil. This looks like a good heat setting for now. So I'm going to keep it on a 5 and let that brown. I'm going to also add a little splash of white wine just because I have it, to give a little extra flavor to the sauce. All right, see you in a few minutes. Okay, my tomatoes came up to a boil. I let them cook for just 2 minutes. And right now they're cooling in the sink. So my sausage is starting to brown. It's not really browning, but it's okay. So I'm just going to throw in a little bit of garlic, 2 cloves. Let that start to cook, and then I'm going to hit it with a little bit of white wine. The garlic is starting to soften up, so now I'm going to add a little bit of white wine. I have this Fiano, which is kind of a medium dry, not too sweet, not too dry white wine from Salento. So I'm going to let that cook a little bit, let the alcohol cook off, and I'll start with my tomatoes next. All right, so for the tomatoes, I find it easier to cut them in half first before I try to peel them. So I'm just removing the skins. I'm not worried about that little stem hole or whatever it's called. It's so small, it's just really insignificant. So that's all I need to do. If you want, you can chop them, but I don't think it's really necessary because this is going to cook for a while and the tomatoes will kind of fall apart. So I like to remove the skins, but I don't always remove the skins when I use cherry tomatoes. In this case, because I want a little bit of a smoother sauce, I just don't want all those skins in there. And like I said, if you don't have whole tomatoes, just use a passata or get yourself a can of whole tomatoes, whole peeled tomatoes, whatever is available. All right, my tomatoes are peeled. Now, I peeled them over a bowl because they release a lot of juice when you're working with them. So this way you're getting all of that juice, not wasting any. And there's just a little bit left on my cutting board, which I'm going to add. I'm going to pop in just a little bit of salt to help them release their liquid just a little. And cover that up and let them cook for a while. I'm going to put it up onto a 4. That's it. So I'm just going to let this cook. I'll add the mushrooms and cook my pasta and be ready to eat. It smells so good in here right now. So the sauce has been cooking for about 30 minutes on a low heat, simmering. You see the tomatoes have really broken apart. So it looks pretty good. I added just a little splash of tomato passata just to give it a little better color. And if I need to, I have a jar in the refrigerator, so I can always add more. All right, so I gave my mushrooms a rinse. These are sliced mushrooms that I got at the supermarket. And I just want these to cook maybe for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'll finish off with a little basil. Check my seasonings. I don't think I need any more salt, but just in case. Remember, if you're putting cheese on your pasta, that is salty, and also you're salting the water. So you don't really need a lot of salt in the sauce. The only reason I put some was to help draw some of the liquid out of the tomatoes. All right, that looks great. So these mushrooms are going to soften up and cook down a little bit. And I should end up with a really nice thick sauce. Tastes delicious. Okay, so I'll see you again in about 15 minutes. At that point, I will start heating up my water. Pasta takes 2 to 3 minutes to finish. And then it's time for lunch. All right, so the sauce is looking great. I'm gonna just let it boil a little bit uncovered to let some of this liquid evaporate, but it looks great. Let me give it a taste. It's so good. It's perfect. It doesn't need any other seasonings. The sausage has flavored it really nicely. And the mushrooms. It's just very simple. You know, you could do the whole celery, carrot, the sofrito, onion, whatever you want. Again, I'm just showing you what I'm doing here with my limitations. I didn't buy any carrots at the supermarket because I don't have a vegetable peeler. And I don't really want to put carrots in my sauce with their skins. And onions, I have a little bit of a red onion, but I would not put a red onion in this. So the garlic is fine. You don't even need garlic, just the sausage is good enough. And then I'm adding some fresh basil. My water is on now. So I'm just going to let my water come up to a boil. And the pasta will be ready in 2 to 3 minutes. All right, my pasta is in the pot. It just came up to a boil. I'm gonna turn off my sauce. Just wanna watch this so it doesn't boil over. It's gonna cook really fast. Let me lower this just 1 degree here. Looks beautiful, fresh pappardelle. Probably, if I got something from a pasta shop, it would be even fresher. But this is good for now. And I did pass a fresh pasta shop on the other side of Bari, on the other side of the tracks. So one of these days, if I'm down that way, I think I'll see what they have and pick up some fresh pasta and see what the difference is. All right, so my timer is going to go off in a little bit. It's going to be kind of messy straining this. I did find a nice big bowl, so I'm all set for that. And I have a strainer also that I bought, but I'm going to try to do this maybe in the sink so that I don't get it all over the stove. Okay, here's my pasta drained. And this beautiful sauce with sausage and mushrooms. Thickened up a little bit. Looks perfect. It just smells so good. Look at that, doesn't it look delicious? And I have some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano that I got grated at my supermarket by some miracle. She asked me if I wanted it grated. I couldn't really hear what she said, but I knew what she was asking. And I simply said, see? And there it is. The magic of communicating when you don't know what you're talking about. All right, there's lunch. I'm going to sit down at the table. Okay, there we have it. Fresh pappardelle with sausage, mushroom, a light ragu made from fresh pomodorini from the local market, fresh basil, so good. The pasta's really good. I think maybe the only difference between this and fresh pasta that you might buy at a pasta shop, this might have some preservatives in it. I checked the expiration date. It's good until December, so probably has some things that I'd rather not have. But what you don't know won't hurt you, right? It's so good. It's so fresh. So flavorful. The basil's really nice. The pasta really is delicious. So there's one more meal in Bari that I'm gonna say is better than most of the food that I've had outside. I had some carbonara that was really good, but super rich and salty. I had orecchiette with ragu barese. That was really good, but it was salty. And then I had a seafood pasta intrani, which I didn't really like. The squid was good, but the pasta was mushy. Again, it was salty. It was just too salty. So, if anybody has a restaurant here in Bari, my advice to you is cut down on the salt, because we can always add more salt if we want. It's not good for you. This is definitely salted, but it's not salty. There's a difference. All right, well, really good Sunday lunch here. I don't feel so left down. I know all around Bari, nonas and mamas are in their kitchens making this amazing food, and everybody's getting ready to sit down for a huge dinner. So I got mine too. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in Appa's Kitchen on the road.